The tranquility of a summer night in northern Ontario was shattered on June 28, 1991. At a quiet rest stop near the town of Blind River, a horrific crime unfolded, leaving 2 people dead and a community forever scarred. The serene setting of the rest stop, a place meant for relaxation and safety, was transformed into a nightmarish scene of bloodshed and terror. The Blind River rest stop murders, as they came to be known, remain unsolved, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk even in the most unexpected places. Despite numerous investigations and countless hours spent by law enforcement, the case has grown cold, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. The victims, Jackie and Gord McAllister, were a retired couple enjoying a leisurely RV trip. They had spent their lives working hard and were finally taking the time to explore the beauty of the open road, never imagining the horror that awaited them. Their journey was cut tragically short at the Blind River rest stop, transforming a place of respite into a scene of unimaginable violence. The RV, once a symbol of freedom and adventure, became a silent witness to the brutality that occurred that fateful night. As darkness fell, a killer emerged, forever altering the lives of the McAllister family and leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. The shadowy figure, whose identity remains a mystery, brought an end to the couple's dreams and left a community in mourning. The Blind River rest stop murders serve as a stark reminder of the vulnerability we all face, even in seemingly safe havens. It is a haunting example of how quickly tranquility can turn into terror and how the shadows of the night can hide the darkest of intentions. The events of that night continue to haunt the small community and serve as a chilling testament to the fact that some mysteries endure, their secrets buried in the passage of time. The memorials and remembrances held by the community are a poignant reminder of the lives lost and the justice that remains elusive. The sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the Blind River rest stop as Gord and Jackie McAllister parked their RV for the night. The couple, from Lindsay, Ontario, were on a much-anticipated vacation, eager to explore the beauty of northern Ontario. They had no way of knowing that this tranquil stop would become their final destination. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, a sharp knock on the RV door jolted the couple awake. A man's voice, gruff and demanding, shattered the stillness. Gord McAllister cautiously approached the door, his heart pounding in his chest. Before he could react, a gunshot rang out, piercing the night air. Jackie McAllister, struck by the bullet, collapsed to the floor. Gord, wounded but alive, managed to escape the RV and flag down a passing trucker. The trucker, horrified by the scene, immediately alerted the authorities. By the time police arrived, the assailant had vanished, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable carnage. Jackie McAllister, 53, was a loving wife, mother, and grandmother. She was known for her unwavering dedication to her family and her community. Her warm smile and infectious laugh could light up a room. Friends and neighbors often spoke of her generosity and her ability to make everyone feel welcome. She was the heart and soul of her family, and her loss left a void that could never be filled. Her absence was felt deeply by all who knew her, a constant reminder of the fragility of life. Gord McAllister, 55, was a retired factory worker known for his kindness and sense of humor. He was a pillar of strength for his family and a beloved figure in his community. He survived the attack but carried the physical and emotional scars for the rest of his life. The trauma of that night haunted him, a constant shadow over his remaining years. As police investigated the crime scene, they made another grim discovery. The evidence pointed to a cold and calculated act of violence. A second victim, Brian Major, a 26-year-old truck driver from Sault Ste. Marie, was found dead in his car. He was a hard-working young man with dreams and aspirations. He had been shot multiple times. The brutality of the crime shocked even the most seasoned investigators. Brian was simply a young man making a living, his life cut tragically short by a senseless act of violence. His family and friends were left to mourn a future that would never be. The Blind River rest stop murders sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. People were left grappling with the horror of such an unprovoked attack. The victims were innocent people, their lives taken in a brutal and random act of violence. The community came together to honor their memories and seek justice. The question that haunted everyone was, who could commit such a heinous crime? The search for answers would become a relentless pursuit for justice. The Ontario Provincial Police, or OPP, launched a full-scale investigation into the Blind River rest stop murders. The crime scene was meticulously combed for evidence and witnesses were interviewed. Composite sketches of the suspect, described as a man with long, stringy blonde hair, were circulated, but no promising leads emerged. Despite the initial flurry of activity, the investigation soon hit a wall. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, but the killer remained elusive. The case, featured on the popular television show Unsolved Mysteries, garnered national attention, but the identity of the perpetrator remained a mystery. Years turned into decades, and the Blind River rest stop murders became a cold case. However, the OPP never gave up hope of finding justice for the victims and their families. The case remained open, a chilling reminder of the brutality that visited the quiet rest stop on that fateful summer night. Section 5. Ronald Glenn West, A Shadow of Suspicion. As the years passed, a name surfaced in connection with the Blind River rest stop murders: Ronald Glenn West. This case had baffled investigators for years, and the emergence of West's name brought a new wave of scrutiny and hope for resolution. A former Toronto police officer, West was no stranger to the criminal justice system. His career in law enforcement had given him an intimate knowledge of police procedures, which he could have used to his advantage in evading capture. He was serving an indeterminate sentence for the murders of 2 nurses in the early 1970s. These brutal crimes had shocked the community and left a lasting scar on the collective memory of the region. West's modus operandi bore striking similarities to the Blind River case. The meticulous nature of his crimes and the specific methods he employed were eerily consistent with the details of the rest stop murders. He was known to target women, often using a .22 caliber firearm, the same type of weapon used in the rest stop murders. This particular choice of weapon was a significant link that investigators could not ignore. Adding to the suspicion, West was living near Blind River at the time of the murders, released on parole after serving time for a violent assault. His proximity to the crime scene during the critical period raised many eyebrows. While West has never been charged in connection with the Blind River rest stop murders, the circumstantial evidence linking him to the crime is unsettling. The lack of concrete evidence has left the case in a perpetual state of limbo. The possibility that a former police officer sworn to protect and serve could be responsible for such a heinous act sent chills down the spines of investigators and the public alike. The case remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in Canadian history. Section 6. Echoes of the Golden State Killer, the Blind River rest stop. Murders, with their possible connection to a former law enforcement officer, bear an eerie resemblance to another infamous case, the Golden State Killer. Joseph DeAngelo, a former police officer, terrorized California for over a decade, committing rapes and murders before finally being apprehended in 2018. DeAngelo's capture, made possible through groundbreaking DNA technology, offered a glimmer of hope for solving cold cases like the Blind River murders. Advancements in forensic science, particularly in the field of genetic genealogy, have revolutionized criminal investigations, providing investigators with powerful new tools to identify perpetrators and bring them to justice. The similarities between the Blind River case and the Golden State Killer case, coupled with the remarkable advancements in DNA technology, have fueled hope that the mystery of who committed the Blind River rest stop murders may one day be solved. Section 7. The Unanswered Questions. Despite the passage of time, the Blind River rest stop murders continue to generate more questions than answers. Who was the man with long, stringy blonde hair who knocked on the McAllisters' RV door that fateful night? Was it Ronald Glenn West, or was it someone else entirely? Why were the victims targeted? Was it a random act of violence, or was there a more sinister motive at play? These are just some of the questions that continue to haunt investigators, the families of the victims, and the community of Blind River. The lack of answers has only deepened the mystery surrounding the Blind River rest stop murders, leaving a community forever changed by the tragedy and a family grappling with the loss of their loved ones. Section 8. A community scarred, a quest for justice. The Blind River rest stop murders cast a long shadow over the small Ontario town. The rest stop, once a welcome respite for weary travelers, became a chilling reminder of the violence that erupted there. The community, known for its friendly nature and strong bonds, was left shaken and on edge. For the families of the victims, the pain of their loss was compounded by the lack of closure. Jackie McAllister's infectious laugh, Gord McAllister's kind heart, and Brian Major's promising future were all stolen, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. The families of the victims, along with the community of Blind River, refuse to let the memory of Jackie, Gord, and Brian fade. They cling to the hope that one day the person responsible for their murders will be brought to justice. Section 9. Seeking Closure. A Plea for Information. The Blind River Rest Stop. Murders serve as a stark reminder that even in the most unexpected places, darkness can lurk. The events of that fateful night in June 1991 left an enduring scar on the community of Blind River and the families of the victims. Decades have passed, but the quest for justice continues. The OPP remains committed to solving this case and bringing closure to the families of Jackie McAllister, Gord McAllister, and Brian Major. They believe that someone, somewhere, holds the key to unlocking the secrets of that night. If you have any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, please come forward. Your tip could be the missing piece of the puzzle that helps bring closure to a grieving family and a community forever marked by tragedy. Contact the Ontario Provincial Police or Crime Stoppers. Do not let the memory of Jackie, Gord, and Brian fade. Help bring their killer to justice.